We're on location in McKinney, Texas for the Lone Star Conference Football Media Day 2022 edition, and it is a privilege to get to be joined today here on Midwest Sportsnet by Coach Bill Maskill from Midwestern State. Coach, 7-3 last year, and you're picked second in the preseason poll here in the Lone Star Conference this year.
You know, I picked us fourth, maybe fifth. We got a lot of unknowns. We've got a lot of young guys, as you heard me speak about, and when you don't have a proven quarterback that's played, I don't know how you can be picked second. Where Angelo's got a proven quarterback that led them last year into the playoffs, they deserve to be where they're at.
Coach, you mentioned something, and by the way, I go back and I watch the videos that where you've been on with me. I watch them more than once because there's always wisdom in that. I'm going to talk about the schedule in just a moment, but just briefly, because I remember one of the things you said, that the big game is the first game, and the next big game is the next game, and things along those lines. So I know you bring wisdom to the table. What kind of wisdom are you bringing to these kids now this year? What do you see that's important to tell kids in 2022?
You know, we've really, this next week is where I get my mind back onto the football part of it. Our kids have worked really hard this summer. I'm really proud of how they've done that in unison and in mass. But last year's last year. We won the conference. We didn't get in the playoffs because we didn't take care of business in 2 games of 2 teams that beat us here. And so, you know, to start the year off right, now we're getting ready to go from playing the last game of the year to playing the first game of the year this year against Colorado State Pueblo, former national champion a couple years back, very well coached, bigger and stronger than us. It'll be a real challenge.
Coach, I want to ask you really quickly, and again, starting the season with Pueblo, you end the season against Angelo State, and that could be a really big matchup. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm just saying it could be a big matchup as the final regular season game. But with that in mind, there are a lot of unknowns. But the players that come back, is that something they think about, the fact that it was a good season but they didn't make the playoffs?
You know, I mentioned that to somebody earlier. Coming out of COVID, we ended the year, the COVID spring, on a spring of 21 on a bad, sour note. And I think that we healed rather quickly, a time process going through the summer, and continued to heal and grow and develop during the season. But after we won that last game and became conference champs, over all the stuff we went through, our kids were as excited as hell. Were we disappointed? Yes. But we didn't complain. That's a sign of growth and maturity. Would we have liked to get in the playoffs? Did we deserve to get in the playoffs? Absolutely. But we don't make those decisions. So before we can even begin to think about playoffs, we better think about game 1, practice 1, figure out how we're going to play in the heat, figure out how we're going to stay injury-free, how we're going to get better each day. And on top of that, we got 3 new coaches. So there's an adjustment period that we're going through right now.
Okay, let me ask that. I'll lead into that. This would be the last question then. 9 games conference schedule this year, and it's been a while since the Lone Star Conference has had a league schedule that is that extensive. What you talk about new coaches, do you have still some kind of book on Central Washington and Western Oregon and Simon Fraser, or are they just really unknowns?
Well, all I can tell you is that Western Oregon kicked our butt in 2019, and Central Washington kicked our butt in 2021, and they're very well coached, very well disciplined, and they're tough, hard-nosed football teams, very well respected across the country. So they're coming in, to me, they're in the top echelon of this conference, and we better get our boots tied up and our chin straps buttoned to get ready to play them, because they're going to be a good competition.
Well, I know the Mustangs are always good competition as well, and then they have been under your leadership. So, Coach, success to Midwestern State this year. Picked again second in the Lone Star Conference preseason poll. We're very grateful you took time with us today here on Midwest Sportsnet.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Appreciate you having us, and thanks for the kind words.